Hello everyone and welcome to my first build video on YouTube. This build video is going to be about Takom's relatively new kit. I believe it was 2020 or something like that. The kit comes with two aluminum gun barrels and some Photoetch as well as some metal side skirts. I bought some aftermarket parts from Aber, but didn't realize it was for the Vel kit, so none of it fit right. I also bought aftermarket StuH from Value Gear. I actually got to meet the Value Gear creator at the Las Vegas show. The suspension was extremely easy, and most of the detail was already on the bathtub style hole. The suspension flew together, although I put some of them on in the wrong place. Yeah, so it was kind of hard to fix that mistake. So next in the process was attaching the return rollers. In hindsight, I should probably have left them off because if you look closely at the finished model, there's no way to get paint behind them. Luckily, it's not too visible. I also made sure to check the alignment of the wheels to make sure that the link and length tracks would sit correctly. They looked good to me. Here on the road wheels, this little peg thing, I guess you could call it. It's supposed to align with the other sides of the wheel. I put them together. There's a small gap where the wheels are supposed to meet, so I ended up cutting off the little pegs, which didn't take too much longer. And some of you by now are probably saying, "Ah, Crusader, you're ruining the model." None of it's really visible in the end, though, so I didn't really mind. Afterwards, I had so many little nubs from those pegs on my workbench, and wherever you placed your hand, 5 or 6 of them would stick to them. It was really annoying. Anyway, to get them all off, I actually took a paintbrush for like painting houses and stuff, and I wiped all of them into the garbage can. Panzermeister 36 actually goes into a lot of depth on this road wheel thing in his review of this tank, which you should definitely check out. Link will be in the description and the top right there. I attached the tow cables and added the only Aber aftermarket P from that fret, which is a chain often seen in riffles. Sadly, I didn't get any video of attaching that chain, but you will be able to see it in the painting of the next video. had an extremely hard time with these little Photoetch clamp cable thingies. Yeah, they're pretty much like little curved pieces of metal that protrude over the tank, which hold the tow cable in place. All of those glossy marks are from the super duper thin CA glue, but I'm too lazy and on a tight budget to get it. But I'm too lazy and on a tight budget to get a thicker kind. I guess I could use super glue. Something to try on my next model. So much CA glue. I did wipe some of it off with a cotton swab. And again, I pushed the clamp out of the way. I just repositioned it the best I can with tweezers. So anyway, this is how I folded those clamp things. I just use normal tweezers for this because I don't have any fancy metal bending tools or anything like that. It came out pretty much looking like the best that I can, in my opinion. I don't think I could have done any better, and they look really good to me. Sorry about the video not focusing here. Maybe I should focus on my camera techniques a little more. I had to throw out a lot of video because I either didn't have a good angle, the lighting wasn't right, or it was just out of focus the whole time, like you see here. Bending the little retaining wall, I guess you can call it, was pretty simple, although my clumsy hands probably knocked it off of the model 100 times before I was finished. I annealed this Photoetch grill and put it in place with my ultra-thin CA glue, and then punched holes in it with the other side of my pair of tweezers. I thought this effect was really good, and it had a lot of praise when I went to a model show. Some of it I just bended inwards, and other parts I completely punched through, so it gave a sort of two-layer, three-dimensional effect. And you can see it here. See, this is just the other end of my tweezers. Nothing fancy. Attach these, I guess you can call them mounts for the side skirts. You could probably tell by now that I'm not very, how do I say this, knowledgeable, I guess, on the technical terms for these parts. Anyway, I made it sit flush with the bottom of the fender so it looks good. I also used the one chain that came with the Photoetch in the kit and attached it to the gun travel lock. And it's things like this that give it just that extra amount of detail. I also wiped away the excess CA glue with a cotton swab. So anyway, on the jack block there was only one. I'm sorry. There's only one. There's only wood texture on the top, so I wanted it to make it on the sides too. So I took my my scribing tool and made it okay wood textures on the sides. It looked a little too deep for my liking, and I didn't really like it all that much. So anyway, in the end, it's not really all that visible. Um, but I'd like to try it anyway, and I think it turned out okay. It's better than nothing, I guess. Lastly, I wanted to show you how to make an excellent wood color for these StuH boxes. Before I show you, I just wanted to mention that I sprayed buff as a base coat. Anyway, first I took some black panel liner from Tamiya and ran it all along the edges of the protruding parts of the box, and then I immediately wiped it away with a cotton swab. If you don't do that, it would look too stark, and after you apply the next step, this effect makes the edges and corners look like they are in shadow, making a sort of three-dimensional effect on the finished product. So anyway, after I did that, I then took some brown. It was like a brown wash. I think it's from Vallejo. And covered the whole box with it. And by covered, I mean flooded. I was not holding back. This effect can be cleaned up and refined in the weathering stage too if you don't like the darkness of it. This also provides the basis for what it will look like in the end, and I think it's a good alternative to brush painting wood texture, like Night Shift does. And when you finish putting a few more coats of black panel liner and brown wash onto it, you can have crates looking like So anyway, I want to thank you for watching this video, and watch out for the painting and weathering video coming out soon. I'll try to do a better editing job on that. I know this is it's a little wonky, but I promise I'll get better. I'm also trying to grow this channel, so please consider subscribing.